Hi everybody, today's focus, I'm reviewing the Homettler Spring Mop to see how well it cleans my home. A little bit ago, a representative from Homettler reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in reviewing two of their mops. I've reviewed one already, their flat mop and bucket system. I'll link that in the description below. And also this spring mop. I gave them my terms for when I conduct a review. They agreed with them completely, which is really good to see. Let me tell you guys, I've been approached by many companies to do reviews for products, and sometimes I don't even look at them. Like there's something that isn't even close to what I do on this channel, not even necessary for me to reply. Some I have a really good conversation with about their product. It's a cleaning product, it's a vacuum, it's a mop, it's a robotic vacuum, it's some other cleaning product. I give them my terms. And unfortunately, a lot of them say no. They're looking for someone to read a script or give the company the raw footage so they can edit the video the way they want it to be. And I don't do that. So when I find a company like Homettler that says, no, we want you to review it your way, I accept. So full disclaimer, Homettler gave me this mop in exchange for this review. They do not have any editorial control over this video, and they're not gonna see this video until you see the video. So let's look at the box and see what they sent me. All right, let's read the box. On the front here, it says Homettler Spring Mop, clean water, clean floors, no dirt mixed anymore. So this appears to be the type of mop system that has a separate chamber for dirty and clean water. We'll take a look and see if it does. On the side, it has assembly instructions. On this side it's the same, and on this side it just has some product information. Let's unbox it. Ooh, this is a pretty color. All right, let's pull this out. I see orange. Ooh, I like it. Ooh, it's blue and orange. This is different. Nice. I like the color. So included in the box is an owner's manual, which I'll give a quick read through. It says flat mop and bucket system manual. It shows a packaging list, how to use the mop, how to replace the mop pad, and oh, here's some care instructions. Let's just go over this really quick. The care instructions for the mop pads themselves are machine wash or hand wash in warm water, then hang dry. Do not tumble dry. We want to make sure we hang dry these mop pads. That's fine. It also has a maximum for the temperature of the water you're using in here. I know some people, I read on like Facebook groups, people are like, I take boiling water and I mop my floors with boiling water. I'm like, I don't have the patience to boil a ton of water and then mop my floors with them, so I don't do that. Anyway, it does say just do not exceed 60 degrees Celsius or 140 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, let's take a closer look at this. First, I just want to say, again, I really like the color. And I know I shouldn't be swayed by colors, but I like it. It also looks like on the front here, it has a measuring gauge so you can see how much water is actually inside the tank. I like that. It's marked in liters and it goes up to 3 liters. Awesome, so it must be the capacity of the tank. Great. All right, let's keep opening. I'm just gonna take off the lid here. Okay, we'll look at this in a minute. We have the poles for the handle, which I'll assemble in a minute. And looks like we have 4 mop pads. Yes! This was something that I loved about the other mop I tested. 4 mop pads. I love this. I like to use a separate mop pad in bathrooms than I do in the living room or the kitchen. So I really appreciate a company that mails you at the start with 4 mop pads. Inside the chamber, you can see the clean water tank right here and the dirty water collection tank there. Has a nice handle. Okay, so here it tells you where to add water, and that'll go into the clean chamber. It says wash, and it says dry, and it looks like it has a similar pumping mechanism as the one I tested last week. Let me attach this. Let me put together the handle and measure how long that is. So I'm 5'2", and it comes up to about my chin. Let me get the tape measure and measure it. Okay, so that measured at 4 foot 5 inches. So it's a comfortable height for me. I also want to point out there are drain plugs on both sides of the tank. Now always remember to push those in all the way, make sure they're sealed before you fill it with water. So let's see how well the spring mop cleans my home. Overall, I enjoyed testing the Homettler Spring Mop System. First off, I like the size. It is compact and slender. You saw the comparison of the sizes to different things around my home. It's lightweight, and it does hold, it says here, up to 3 liters, but the max line is at about 2.5 liters. So you can use that amount when you're scaling how much of your floor cleaner you should add to the clean water chamber. You can use any cleaner you want. You can use your Mr. Clean, you can use Yoda, you can use whatever you want, spick and span. Just scale the concentration to fit about 2.5 liters. Another thing I like is that the mop head itself is long. It's longer than the other ones that I have, so it's longer than the O-Cedar, it's longer than the Joy Moop, and it's longer than the other Homettler one that I tested out last week. It is a bit longer. I did like that. The handle is an adequate length. It worked fine for me. I really like that it came with 4 pads. I've said this before. I do not understand why companies send 1 pad and then expect you to purchase more. I really like when they include 4 pads. I like using different ones in my bathroom, my kitchen, my living room, and bedroom. I really like the silicone edge, or they refer to it as a bumper in their Amazon store. I like this a lot. It helps prevent scraping on walls when you're trying to get really close to a wall. I like this silicone bumper. I think it's a unique aspect to these mops. I absolutely love the separate tanks, and I'm sure most of my viewers will too. It's usually a common thing on my channel to have people say, I'm really trying to find a mop system where the dirty water and clean water aren't commingling, and this is definitely one of those products. You saw there's a separate chamber here. We add the clean water. When you put your mop down in here, it sprays the clean water on here, and when you dry it, it dries it over here in this chamber here with this little squeegee guy. None of the dirty water made its way over to the clean water chamber at all while I was using it. The mop pads are machine washable, which is convenient. Just remember, you do have to air dry them. Don't put them in the dryer. And you can use the mop pads wet or dry. Let's talk about some things that I was so about. One thing that you should know is that when you're first putting your mop head inside the wash chamber to get the clean water on it, you do have to pump it quite a few times in order to get the pumping mechanism to get the water up through the tank and in through the little chamber here to squirt onto your mop pad. And it doesn't work very well if you do it very slow. So it works better if you kind of move it quickly in and out instead of going real slow. Like I wanted to do it slow so I could see it stream onto the mop pad. I couldn't do that. You have to move it quickly to get the pumping action to work to get it onto the mop pad, but it does work fine. One other thing that concerns me a little bit is the drain plugs. I do feel this is unique to this brand. I tested their other one that had the drain plugs also. It is a unique feature. I cannot tell you how long these drain plugs are going to work. Are they going to work for years? Are they going to start leaking? I don't know. But you can always empty the dirty water and the leftover clean water in your toilet by just taking off the orange cap and dumping it in the toilet. They did work fine. I can see how they're really convenient if you want to place this on the counter of the sink, unplug it, and have the water, whether it's the leftover clean or the dirty water, flow into a sink without having to lift and pour. So I definitely see the convenience of it, but it is something to just be mindful of. Make sure these are always plugged in really nice and tight before you fill them with water. But overall, I really did enjoy testing of this one they call the Spring Mop. I also really like the color. Now I know the color has nothing to do with its function at all, but I like the color. I like the navy blue a lot. I like the contrasting orange on top. I just think it looks really clean and sleek, a little bit more than just the white or beige mop systems. Let me also tell you the price point. I often forget to say the prices of products I'm reviewing because most people just look it up on Amazon anyway, but this one, when I do look up on the Amazon, it is $55.99, so $56. I don't know if I'm going to get a coupon code, but if I do get any discounted links or codes, that will be in the description below. So thank you, Homettler, for giving me the opportunity to review your spring mop bucket system. I most certainly did enjoy it, and I think it worked well around my home. If there is a product that you would like me to test, do me a favor, put it in the comments section and I will add it to my viewer suggestion list, or you can mail me something. My email address is in the description below. Do me a favor and send me an email. Let's have a conversation about the product that you want me to test. It might be something that I have in queue at home, it might be something that I've already tested, or it might be something that I don't have the ability to test in my home. But send me an email, let's talk about it, and then I will give you my mailbox address. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, have yourselves a great day.